A sensation rises out of nowhere. Not a thought, not a fantasy. A sudden pull that moves through the body and straight into the chest, as if something ancient just remembered you. The mind tries to explain it away, but the body already knows. This is not coincidence. This is not desire as the world defines it. This is energy responding to recognition. In certain connections, attraction doesn't begin with proximity or conversation. It begins long before two people meet, long before words are exchanged. Twin flame energy operates beyond logic, beyond time, beyond the physical rules we've been taught to trust. When two mirrored souls activate each other, the connection bypasses the senses and speaks directly through vibration. What people call telepathic sex is not an act. It's a resonance. This resonance often appears when there is distance, miles apart, different cities, different lives. Yet the sensations arrive clearly and without warning. A warmth spreading through the lower body, a pulse in the heart, a sudden emotional closeness that feels intimate, personal, and unmistakably specific. This isn't longing. It's alignment. Two energetic systems briefly syncing on the same frequency. What makes this experience so unsettling is that it doesn't behave like ordinary attraction. There is no effort involved, no decision. It happens in stillness, in rest, often late at night when the mind is quiet and the soul is unguarded. This is when the subconscious loosens its grip and the energetic body becomes receptive. In twin flame connections, this is when communication becomes strongest. Sexual energy in this bond isn't about the body seeking pleasure. It's about the soul moving energy through the body as a form of recognition. That's why it can feel emotional, healing, or even overwhelming. The energy doesn't stop at one chakra. It rises. It activates memory stored in the nervous system. It brings forward sensations that feel deeply familiar without having a clear origin. Many people mistake this intensity for obsession or fantasy, but fantasy requires imagination. This experience arrives uninvited. It interrupts. It demands attention. And most importantly, it reflects what is unresolved within you. Twin flame energy doesn't create desire. It amplifies what already exists beneath the surface. This is why telepathic sexual energy can feel both blissful and uncomfortable. The same current that activates connection also activates wounds. Shame stored in the sacral chakra. Fear embedded in the root. Old emotional imprints connected to intimacy, worth, and vulnerability. The energy moves directly through these layers, bringing everything to the surface at once. The intensity isn't punishment, it's exposure. The connection forces honesty with yourself. Every surge of energy asks one question: what are you holding that no longer belongs to you? When the body responds strongly, it isn't asking for release. It's asking for awareness. In twin flame dynamics, this process rarely unfolds equally. One energy often awakens first. The receptive, intuitive side feels the pull, senses the connection, and begins the internal work. The other feels the pressure but resists the meaning. This creates the familiar runner and chaser pattern, not as a game, but as a balancing mechanism. The receptive energy experiences the connection internally, emotionally, energetically. The resistant energy experiences it through disruption, confusion, and delayed realization. Both are responding to the same current, just through different entry points. One feels the fire immediately. The other feels the smoke before understanding the flame. As healing occurs, the sexual energy begins to change. It stops feeling chaotic. It becomes slower, deeper, more grounded. The urgency dissolves and is replaced by presence. What once felt consuming becomes stabilizing. This is the transition from reactive desire to conscious union. At this stage, the connection no longer pulls from lack. It no longer seeks completion through the other person. Instead, it circulates within. The energy moves upward, opening the heart, softening the nervous system, and creating a sense of wholeness that exists even in separation. This is when intimacy becomes expansive rather than addictive. One of the most misunderstood aspects of telepathic sexual energy is the belief that it requires constant engagement. In reality, discernment is essential. Energetic consent matters. Feeling another person's energy does not obligate response. Awareness allows choice, and choice strengthens the connection rather than weakening it. When both individuals reach this level of awareness, the bond transforms. There is no invasion, no urgency, no confusion, just a shared frequency that can be entered or exited consciously. This is where sacred intimacy truly begins. Sacred intimacy is not about intensity, it's about coherence. The body, heart, and mind aligning into a single state of presence. In this alignment, sexual energy no longer seeks expression through fantasy or projection. It becomes creative force, healing force, a current that nourishes rather than consumes. This is why twin flame sexual energy often awakens spiritual growth. It exposes distortion. It dissolves false beliefs about pleasure and worth. It reclaims the body as a vessel rather than an object. And in doing so, it restores a sense of safety within desire itself. As alignment deepens, physical presence becomes less necessary for intimacy. The connection exists in silence, in stillness, in moments of awareness where words feel unnecessary. Even separation no longer feels like absence. The energy is steady, available, and grounded within the self. At full integration, the need to label the experience disappears. There is no need to chase sensations or define moments. The connection simply exists, balanced, calm, alive. Sexual energy flows without urgency, without confusion, without fear. It becomes a quiet knowing rather than a consuming fire. This is the point where union is no longer something to seek. It's something to allow. The work is no longer about activation. It's about maintenance, presence, integrity, trust. Telepathic sexual energy was never meant to distract or overwhelm. It was meant to guide, to reveal, to return you to yourself through the mirror of another. And when understood correctly, it doesn't pull you outward. It anchors you deeper within.